What's going on, guys? I recently attended Cedar Point for 3 days in a row, and I am going to be counting down the top 5 best rides at this park, after the 2017 season. Now, of course, it's not going to have RMC Mean Streak in it, but you guys can, fantasize and place it wherever you want. But I'm going to get straight started into this with the number 5 spot, which is going to be Valravn. Now, I know you guys are probably shocked. Some of you don't believe it should even made it in the top 5, but I'm going to put it at the number 5 spot. And, I love the drops on this ride. The back row is better than the front. Hanging over isn't as good as, not staying on the catwalk after you're hanging over and then just getting pulled over. That drop is absolutely amazing. The slow inversion is really fun too. So, I think this ride definitely should beat out any other ride that I don't place in the top 5. So let's go ahead and get to the number 4 spot. Coming at the number 4 spot is going to be GateKeeper. Now, you guys, oh my gosh, you placed a boring B&M wing coaster in front of a dive. This ride is great if you make it to be. If you just ignore the rattle, by the way, Valravn has a small rattle, but if you ignore the rattles, this ride is just better than Valravn. I think it is. In the back right row, I believe, that drop, it's one of the best drops I've ever been on. If you just hang in the back right row on that, you get the stomach, the airtime. It's just absolutely amazing. You'll actually get pulled over the airtime hill if you're in the back too, which who doesn't like airtime? And although it does have the rattles, this ride is just inversion after inversion except for the airtime hill. But it's still amazing. That the first drop, it's really creative that they did that, and I love it. It's one of my favorite drops ever. So that's why I'm going to place GateKeeper in front of Valravn on this list. Coming in at the number 3 spot is my number 1 ride, but I figured let's not let the bias out of what made me a coaster enthusiast influence this video. So I'm going to put it at the number 3 spot. It's going to be Top Throw Dragster. Now, yes, I do love this thing to death. It is my number 1 ride. I'll hang around however long I have to get on this ride. I've seen some rollbacks. I've seen just about every pattern of it going over the top as you can imagine. I studied this ride extensively. I just love it as a ride, but I'm just going to place it at the number 3 spot when taking into the account of how everybody else feels about it. Yes, it is short, but it's the biggest rush I've had in my life so far. So yeah, that's why it's going to make the number 3 spot. I'm not going to say much about it. I'm a little butthurt. I'm placing it here myself. Alright guys, coming at the number 2 spot, really 2 and 1, you can switch them, which 2 I'm already going to place. But I'm actually going to place Maverick the number 2 spot. No, he didn't. Yes, I did. Because I got on this ride twice over the 3-day span, and it was both during early entry, so we just walked on it twice. It's a great ride, especially in the back. Getting pulled over that first drop is amazing. I love the low-to ground turns, switches. It makes it intense, and it is wild. The airtime is great, but there's 2 hills where it is great airtime, but I just feel like the horseshoe rolls, they're just, little anticlimactic. Really, when you look at the layout, they're the most boring part of the layout. It's really surprising that the inversions are the most boring part, but that's just factual. Maverick is just wild. The launch, is great. It's not the most forceful launch, obviously, but it's definitely a great launch. Something I found interesting, right, that people don't really talk about is after you come out of the launch tunnel and you go to the top of the second hill, that turn as you're coming down and water is getting shot at you, that turn is really intense. I don't know if they put grease lightning on it this year or something, but I found that turn to be really, really intense. And just the twistiness of this ride, Rob Albee, is just absolutely amazing. It's a good ride, but I'm sorry, I just couldn't place it above number 1. Alright, the number 1 ride, yes, it does have a small rattle. Yes, I did feel that. Yes, it's been taken into account, but it's still going to be Millennium Force. Now, of course, I would place Top the Dragster here, and, Millennium 2, Maverick 3, etc. But just when taking the ride experience and the coaster enthusiast community, I can see why this ride did win a Golden Ticket Award. I'm sure Fury is probably better than it. But this ride, it was great. Now, hands up, I thought the front was better than the back, which is rare, because you don't really need to get pulled over those hills. You're going to be flying over them except for the one that's slow, and you'll get minor airtime in that wherever you sit. But the turns, there's just nothing exciting about the turns. I don't know, I just still found this ride to be an overall better ride than Maverick. I probably just, the drop is slightly better than Maverick because, it's just elongated, because it's, 200 feet taller than Maverick. But I don't know, comparing 1 and 2, we can argue about it in the comments all day. I don't have proof for why I have 1 above 2. I just know they're both great rides. They're probably just irreversible. I just know Millennium was great this year. Coming over that last small airtime hill is great. and just flying through the through the overbank turns. It's just a great ride, and that's why Millennium's going to be number one. I just feel overall it is the best ride. So yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and let's argue in the comments, but I'll see you in the next video.